Let's look at one last amazing thing about smart objects, and then we will get started with your assignment at long last. Just going to take the text tool, and I'm going to type out hello world. I'm going to do a quick transformation on that, which requires me getting the move tool, Control T. And look, I can do all the standard transformation stuff. Well, almost. Notice that I can shear it when I hold down the Control key, but I can't do what I would normally do, which would be pull in one point and then another point and so forth and so on. Well, that's because this is a vector object, and we'll get into what vector objects are later in the semester. If you already know what a vector object is, kudos, you're ahead of the curve. Otherwise, we'll talk about it as the semester continues. We're going to work with paths later on for masking when we do, what is it, like assignment 8, somewhere down there? 9? 7. One of those assignments. We'll work on paths, and then we'll talk about vector objects again. But in short, you can't do all the same transformations on it. However, if you were to right-click on here and convert to a smart object, now would be a Photoshop big document. That means that the view we're looking at is a rastered view. Sort of. We can actually raster this still, rasterize layer, but the window we are dealing with is not a vector. So if we do Control T, notice that it's changed the free transform. Now if I hold down the Control, that's the kind of thing that you would normally expect. And in fact, you can also do this cool warp if I click on that, which you can't do to text normally. So you go, okay, that's pretty cool, but how's that any different from, you know, just rastering it and then editing it out? Well, here's why. So I've got this hello world going on, and I go, well, what if I want to do something else to it? Well, I can double click it because it's a smart object and I can change things. So if I wanted like a different font, I could go in here and I could go, hey, instead of doing a Merit Pro, what if I did, here's a good one, Noto Sans. Now, a couple of issues. First, when the smart object's created, it tried to make itself the closest size to the text as possible. So we're actually going to need to increase the size. The crop tool is perfectly capable of doing that, so I'm just going to bring this out in both directions. Boom. And I will crop it that way, and I will save, Control S or File Save. I will close this tab. Boop. And now, oh, did I save? I might not have saved that correctly. Let's pop back in. Oh, it just looks really, really similar. Let's use a different font. That one's too close. I like that font, but yeah. What about something crazy? What do we have here? We have a malfunctioning Photoshop. That's always great. Come on. I don't want to use emojis. What do we have? What do we have? I looked at these earlier. I was like, oh, this is such a cool font. This will work perfectly. But that didn't occur to me that, no, actually it won't work that great. So I'm going to just decrease the font size in this case. And then I will do quick transformation. So Wingdings, which is actually really, really cool. Wingdings were the original emojis. Remind me to post you a video on where Wingdings came from. It's some interesting history. Save. Close, and voila, look, it's Wingdings. But the transformations we did to it remain. So if we came in here with Control T, you'd see that this crazy warp is still happening, and I could even warp it further if I so desired, and not even worry about it. How wild is that? The transformation remains the same. The text can be changed after the fact. Do keep in mind you might have to increase the size of the embedded file, canvas size, increase the canvas size of the embedded file when you go in there. I like to use the crop tool. It's perfectly sufficient. Anyway, that's just one of the many things you can do with smart objects. They're really, really cool. All of that aside, it's time to actually dig in and do the assignment. So go ahead and grab a copy of the assignment from the website if you don't already have that open. If you like to print these things, print that thing out. I know I like to have tactile stuff, paper, and whatever. Otherwise, just open it up in another window so you can follow along and just kind of, shrink aside the YouTube video here. And we will get started right on that. I will see you in the next video.